Welcome back, squad. How are you doing? Your must draft quarterbacks. Let's go. Welcome back, squad. Like I said, 5.5 of the must draft quarterbacks this season. Yes, I said a half. Yes, let's go. Number one, he's going at QB 15 this year. I feel like I like him every year. Justin Herbert. He had 69 rush attempts last year. Nice. He averaged 17 fantasy points a game last season, which puts him at QB 16. So he's priced about fairly based off last year. 4 of his 5 lowest scoring games were in the first 4 weeks. And I think if I'm being generous, I contribute that a lot to a new offense, a new team, a new coach, all this new system that they have to get used to. Now it's not the case because they know they're going to have to still throw the ball. They still have Lad, right? And while they drafted a brand new running back and they got Najee, the all-star that he is, they're still going to have to throw the ball. Number 2, I think a lot of people are going to be high on this guy. It's Bo Nix. Nix is going as QB 8 on the season currently, and he had 92 rush attempts last season. He averaged 19.3 fantasy points a game last season, and I think he's just in an improved situation of last year. He's coming into his second season. He's more established in that offense. It's a lot like Herbert, where they're more similar, more familiar faces, where they're not going to jump into like top 3 necessarily, but I think they're going to improve upon where they've been. I think Nix was also like Herbert in the last 4 games. He really started to figure it out. His lowest total was one game where he had 16.5 points in the last 4 games. And same as Herbert, his worst 3 finishes were in the first 4 weeks that they had him. So he's still new-ish, but I like his confidence more. I like the team more. I just like that they're developing around him still. And I think he's going to be even better in his second year. I like his rushing ability, like I've talked about. I'm in on Bo Nix. Coming in at QB 12, which is up from QB 14 a couple weeks ago. I'm still not 100% in on him, but Justin Fields. I understand he's not the most amazing passer. He's not even a great quarterback necessarily, but he does one thing better than a lot of quarterbacks. If you haven't figured it out, he runs the ball.
He gets on base.
In the 6 games he started last season, he had 62 rushing attempts, over 10 rushes a game, which is insane. Yes, he's on the Jets. Yes, Brees Hall is there. I wouldn't say I'm like gung-ho reaching to get him, but if he falls in those drafts, I think I don't hate him. Like I said, I'm not 100% on this. I like that he's coming in with Garrett Wilson now. I don't necessarily love everything that's happened in the offseason with this team. I also don't even know if he's going to play the whole season. They might bench him halfway through. But at his price, it's not bad. And I think more even to the point, the Jets just aren't a good football team. They're going to have to throw the ball. Fields is going to have to throw the ball, or they're going to bench him and you'll know to get rid of him, right? So I think with Fields, you're going to know pretty quickly whether he's actually something or not. So at QB 12, I wouldn't say I like him more than Herbert necessarily, but I do think if you want to really risk it for the biscuit, Fields is not a bad option. Up next, he's moved up to QB 10 now. He was at 11. It's Caleb Williams. Williams had 81 rushes last season, but obviously the biggest thing here is Ben Johnson. Getting rid of their old head coach, I think, is going to do wonders for him. I do still believe in him, and I do still believe in this offense, which is crazy because it's the Bears. But I actually do believe that this offense will score points and that Caleb can be successful here. He averaged 15.3 fantasy points a game last season, which put him at QB 24 in average fantasy points a game, which is bad. I understand that. I do. Because I'm asking you to take him above guys who did better than him last season, like Derek Carr, who is retired, or Dak Prescott, or Russell Wilson, right? Like, I understand the risk is definitely baked in there, but I think if any one of these guys, other than maybe Bo Nix, have top 5 potential, it's Caleb. Caleb is a risky pick at his price. I get that. I really do. But I'm confident enough to say I think he will be at least semi-successful compared to how he was last season. Oh, he'll be way better than last season, but I think relatively where you're getting him, I think he will be relatively fine. If he averages 2 more fantasy points a game next season, he'll be in the top 15. Realistically, not impossible. They're going to throw the ball. Ben Johnson's a mastermind. I think they're going to use him well and a lot better than Eberflus ever did. I am putting the chips in on Caleb Williams. And kind of last, kind of not last, he's going at QB 18 right now, Drake May. But I really like the dude for where you're getting him at. They just got Stephon Diggs, which helps them immensely, I think, in the wide receiver game because they had just nobody to throw to besides Hunter Henry, and we know how that went. So ultimately, I think he's going to be more successful than last season, of course, but I think because of the coaching change, because of the personnel changes, he's going to be even better. And I think even more to the point, he runs the ball. He had the second highest yards per carry as a quarterback since 2000. Now, is he like a Kyler Murray, a Jayden Daniels? No. He's not going to run like Justin Fields. He's not going to run like Lamar. But if he runs the ball 5 times a game, I'm fine with that. I think the Patriots are still a work in progress. I think they're still going to have to throw the ball. I think May is the guy now. He is pretty clearly the QB1 here, and they're going to lean into him and trust him. And at QB18, I really like that price a lot. So I'm pretty in on May. I don't think he can do much worse than last year based off the changes that they've made. He only averaged 13.4 fantasy points a game last season, which is quite bad, but those include games that like he got hurt in and came in halfway through the game because Jacoby was just dog water, right? So that's a little bit baked into it. So his price has gone up, obviously, from last year, but I think he could crack the top 12 pretty confidently. And this half a guy is, I'm throwing him in here because it's how risky do you feel / can these 4, 5, 7 things happen correctly or the way that you want them to? If so, maybe you should, I can't even say it seriously. If these very specific things happened, and if you just want to go bankrupt and just throw $1 million into the pot and see what happens, although he costs you like nothing. Anthony Richardson. I know. Things I like. He's going at QB 29. He's basically free. He is free. You pick him up off waivers. He's below Sam Darnold and Aaron Rodgers, which like they're actually starting for the team, so I wouldn't blame you if you take either of them. But QB 29, like I said, is free money. Across his NFL career, he averages almost 8 carries a game, which is really good for a quarterback. That's about all the things I like. He might not start. It might be Daniel Jones. Right now, it's looking kind of like Daniel Jones. So there's that. Number 2, he could throw a 60-yard touchdown or he could throw a pick to the linebacker, right? Like he's just so inconsistent as a passer. But if he gets in the goal line, he's going to get that like tush-push goal line work, which is super fun. But you have to play and be on the field for that. He had more interceptions than touchdowns last season. He had a less than 50% completion percentage. The numbers are bad. If you don't want to take him, I might not even take him as I'm telling you this information. But if he starts, he runs the ball. And if he starts consistently, he's a guy you throw on your bench in a really deep league and you kind of just watch and see how it happens. It might be nothing. The good news is he costs you less than nothing. So you just drop his butt. Don't draft him, dear God, but just pick him up. Maybe you'll get lucky. Maybe he's burnt toast. My half a quarterback recommendation, Anthony Richardson. Anyway, that's my list. Let me know what you guys think. I'm moving on to running backs next. That is hard to say. Okay, peace out.